Story 3. The Prison Without a Name. There are places in America that don't appear on any map, buildings that were erased long before anyone could ask why, and among them stands one of the most mysterious. A decaying concrete fortress hidden deep in the hills of Appalachia. Locals call it the Prison Without a Name. It started as rumor. A few scattered posts online, grainy photos of a chain-link fence in the fog. But to those who live near the small town of Briar Hollow, West Virginia, it's no myth. The prison once held some of the country's most dangerous federal inmates during the 1950s, before it quietly shut down. But the reason? Officially, budget cuts. Unofficially, something much darker. When the government sealed the compound, every employee who worked there signed a lifelong confidentiality agreement. Within a decade, it was as if the prison had never existed. But recently one man, a former guard named Frank Dord, broke his silence. He claimed that the prison's final days weren't bad. What about money or security failures? They were about something that shouldn't have been inside. Frank was 92 years old when he spoke to a local journalist. His voice was shaky, but his memories were sharp, painfully sharp. He said, it wasn't the prisoners that scared us. It was what they found in Cell Block E. According to Frank, Cell Block E was built below ground, a series of windowless corridors made entirely of reinforced steel. No ventilation, no light except for a single red emergency bulb. One winter, after a major electrical failure, guards discovered a hidden sub-basement, a section no one knew existed. Behind a rusted door was a single cell, welded shut from the outside. And inside, etched into the concrete walls, were hundreds of tally marks. And one phrase, written in something that looked like charcoal. He hears the prayers. Where records were, pulled, there was no documentation of that cell. No inmate number, no name, no assigned warden. But the oldest guards, men who'd worked since the war, recognized the description immediately. They whispered about a man brought in before the facility was officially opened. Someone held under Project Silence, a classified government operation in 1948. His file listed him only as Subject 13. Frank said Subject 13 never spoke, never ate, never aged. And every night, guards would hear tapping from the pipes. Always 3 knocks, spaced evenly apart, like clockwork. When one guard knocked back, the lights would flicker, and every prisoner in the block would start screaming. The next morning, that guard was gone. By early 1955, rumors had spread through the ranks. Guards started quitting. Engineers refused to enter the lower levels. And then, on one freezing December night, the prison lost all power. Frank described hearing voices echoing through the corridor, not from inmates, but from inside the walls themselves. When backup generators finally came online, every door in Cell Block E was open, every inmate inside, missing. Except for one. Frank found the warden sitting in his office, motionless, eyes open, staring at the ceiling. On the wall behind him was a single phrase written in ash. The prayers have been answered. Within 48 hours, federal trucks rolled into Briar Hollow. Every file, every record, every blueprint, destroyed. Employees were relocated or silenced. And the Prison Without a Name was scrubbed from public archives. Frank said agents warned him never to speak again. He obeyed for 70 years, until his deathbed confession. But what truly terrified him wasn't what he saw back then. It was what happened after. He said the tapping came back, first in his home's pipes, then in his walls. And every time it happened, he'd whisper back, "We set you free. Leave me alone." In 22, urban explorers posted a video of themselves sneaking into an abandoned facility outside Briar Hollow. In the footage, viewers can hear a faint knocking sound. 3 taps, exactly as Frank described. Moments later, the camera shakes violently and the feed cuts to black. Their YouTube channel was deleted 2 days later. None of the explorers were ever identified by name. Authorities claimed the footage was fabricated. Local officials denied that any Briar Hollow correctional facility ever existed on record. and yet the property remains fenced, monitored, and marked with federal restriction signs. But the story didn't end there. 6 months later, a journalist from the Appalachian Review tried to locate the site after hearing the same rumors circulating in online forums, whispers of a buried prison and the man with no name. He brought a drone, a map, and an old photo, copied from a declassified state archive. The drone's footage, later leaked online, shows a cracked concrete foundation hidden beneath the forest floor and a single metal vent protruding from the earth. Through that vent, the audio captured something faint, a low hum. When slowed down and analysed by sound engineers, the frequency matched a human voice pattern. Too rhythmic to be wind, too controlled to be mechanical. 3 beats. Pause, 3 more. Like breathing or prayer. The journalist abandoned his investigation 2 days later. He told his editor, "Whatever's down there, it's still alive." He never published the article. Former employees who once worked at the prison were quietly interviewed decades later for a local oral history project. Of the 7 interviewed, 5 refused to discuss their time at the facility. One described it only as a place where God forgot to look. Another, a retired electrician, revealed that the lower sublevel had been sealed with concrete after an incident. And that's in 1947. The same year official blueprints abruptly stopped being updated. He remembered B and ordered to shut down all power to the basement level and rewrote the electrical feed away from it. When he asked why, the warden simply replied, "Because something down there started running on its own." That man never returned to work. He left the state within a week. Today, hikers and drone explorers who stumble near the coordinates report strange environmental readings. Electromagnetic spikes, localized cold spots, even faint vibrations underfoot. Local law enforcement dismisses the claims as internet hysteria. But every few months, someone posts a video from the nearby trails. A steady thud beneath the dirt. Then another, and another. Always 3 knocks. Before Frank Dawes passed away in 2008, his granddaughter found one last cassette in his workshop, labeled simply, "For whoever finds the light." We were supposed to guard a man, but he wasn't a man by the time they put him down there. He prayed in a language no one knew. And when he stopped praying, that's when we started hearing things. The tape ends with faint tapping. 3 knocks. Then silence. The FBI collected the tape shortly after his death. It was never entered into evidence. Birds avoid the clearing where the facility once stood. Wind moves strangely there, in circles, like it's caught in a loop. And at night, campers swear the ground itself exhales. Some claim it's just old air escaping through underground vents. Others just say it's something waking up. Some prisons hold the guilty, others hold what we were never meant to release. And sometimes, what we bury remembers. If you ever find yourself near Briar Hollow and you hear a slow hollow tapping under your feet, don't answer it. Because some stories don't end when the lights go out. They wait, quietly, for someone to listen. Story 4, coming soon. The Forgotten Inmate, the man they couldn't execute.